Still talking about River State. Member representing Abua, Odual and Ahoada East Federal Constituency of River State in the House of Representatives, Solomon Bob, has faulted the interpretation of Supreme Court judgment on the crisis rocking River State by human rights lawyer Femi Falana. Bob, in a statement issued on Saturday, described Falana's interpretation of the judgment as misleading. ATN reports that on 10th January 2025, the Supreme Court dismissed an appeal by Governor Siminalayi Fubara against the judgment of the Court of Appeal, which had earlier upheld the judgment of Justice Joseph Omotosho of the Federal High Court in suit number FHC/ABJ/CS/1613/2023. He explained that Justice Omotosho's judgment, which was delivered on 22nd January 2024, restrained Fubara from howsoever or in whatsoever manner making any request, presentation, or nomination in the River State House of Assembly, except to the House of Assembly under the leadership of Speaker Martin Amehule. Falana had claimed that the dismissed appeal related only to the 2024 appropriation law and therefore merely academic. But the lawmaker was of the opinion that the judgment did not only address the question of the 2024 budget presentation alone, but all subsequent presentations, including that of 2025, requests or nominations before the River State House of Assembly. Bob added, however, the ink on the Supreme Court's dismissal had hardly dried up when Mr. Femi Falana, SAN, appeared on a television program to profile yet another misleading interpretation. Indeed, virtually all the reliefs sought and granted by the Federal High Court and the decision of the Appeal Court affirmed the subsisting membership of the House of Assembly by the 27 legislators. Bob emphasized that by reason of Section 272 subsection 3 of the Constitution, only the Federal High Court is vested with the jurisdiction on any question of vacancy in the seats of the House of Assembly. He maintained that Justice Omotosho's judgments remained the only decision by a court with the requisite jurisdiction to have pronounced on the status of the 27 members of the River State House of Assembly, adding that Falana's insistence that they have lost their seats was outrageous and lacked legal basis. Ugochukwu, what do you make of this story?
It is really, laughable, and it is really something that I wouldn't know how to place it, going by what they normally say in Nigeria, that we are building human institutions instead of national institutions that will outlive or outpower the individual system of the institution we are building. If it is in politics now, let me just say it the way it is. If Wike makes any statement now, they will say an individual is bigger, is proven to be bigger than the institution. And you also see some analysts that will sit down and they will say, we don't want to build strong individuals, we want strong institutions. So Femi Falana, who knows the law, who knows the Constitution, so to say, is now building himself as the Constitution. Falana is not the law. Falana, as far as I know, Femi Falana, whatever he has achieved in life, remember that people taught him. And he is also priding whatever he knows based on the Constitution that were written by other people. He is just doing the interpretation of the Constitution. So those people who go about, heralding and clapping for whatever words that comes out of his mouth is really not doing the Nigerian citizenry the service that we need from a person who we should say is also an institution, a representation of the law. When he comes about now, making some statements that you will look at it as being biased, you now ask yourself, where do we go from here?
Okay, I think it's very important that I also make you understand that Femi Falana is a person of interest.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying.
So you can't be speaking of Falana as an institution.
No, that's why I'm saying that because he is biased.
He is, no, hold on. He is one of the councils representing the governor of River State in this matter.
Yes.
So would you expect him to speak otherwise? The law is subject to interpretation, and one would say it is he has interpreted it the way he deemed fit. Yes. So he's a person of interest in this matter. I need you to consider that as well.
I really thank you for making that clarification, because I am in the know of that already, but many Nigerians don't know that, because many Nigerians are taking what he's saying to the bank, because they might have seen him as an uninterested party. But now that this clarification is out to the public, why I'm saying that is, over time, Femi Falana is like the late Gani Fayemis of this world, that Nigerians has come to, trust in their judgment and how they hold the government accountable. Remember, what he's doing here is that why Nigerians are taking him, what he says, so to be the truism is this: they are seeing him from that activism and human law activist point of view. Now he has shifted. He's now collecting money. He's now representing people. So I just want us to make that clear distinction through what you said now, that he is now a counsel to the governor's camp. So he is an interested party. So, but why I was making the clarifications I'm making about and himself now playing to the minds of Nigerians, trying to be a representation of the law, is because many Nigerians are seeing him from that angle of the person who is always questioning the government or trying to comfort for them when the government is not doing well in terms of interpretation of the law or how the law should be carried out. So that is why I don't want Nigerians to see Femi Falana in that light in this case. So, and as soon as the Nigerians were able to distinguish him from being an activist, a human rights lawyer, or somebody whom, so to say, have represented the interests of Nigerians over time, to seeing him as somebody who is being paid to render service, then we now begin to understand where the lawmaker, what's his name again, from the Solomon Bob is coming from. So having made this clarification, the judgment of Justice Joseph Omotosho on the 22nd of January 2024 is subsisting, because this one that they went to Supreme Court is an appeal, but this is already a judgment. And let me inform Nigerians, when I read that particular expose, that judgment turned out from the Supreme Court, I said that the governor played smart, because he didn't want to cause rift and the tension in his own camp.
How do you mean?
The governor knows what he did, because this case that if they had adjudicated on that very case, it would have shown a clear signal where the main litmus test is. That is the case of the authenticity or the defection of the 27 lawmakers. If the governor knew, and his camp, even Femi Falana, if he knew that the Supreme Court will award a penalty, because once you go to a court and a fine is awarded, who is the victor of the case? The victor of the case is Martin Samuel and his brothers, because if the Supreme Court did not award that penalty, whatever Femi Falana and his cohorts are saying will fly. But for the fact that Supreme Court gave a fine to be paid for that litigation, that settles the whole matter of what Bob Solomon is saying, in my view. And to say that particular case, they are withdrawing it, that is an academic exercise, then it poses the question that a judgment that has been turned out that has a life given by Justice Omotosho of the Federal High Court, affirmed by the appeal court, does it not have the potency to bite and become a law? That's the question Nigerians should be asking. So when you say that they withdraw it is now an what do you call it, an academic exercise, the question will be, when did Omotosho and the appeal court turn out their judgment? Is it not in the lifetime of that particular appropriation bill saga? So does it mean that the withdrawal of the case has led to the death of a pronouncement of a competent court of jurisdiction? So Nigerians should get these facts straight. We don't play to the gallery. We are not here to say that the Supreme Court erred or the Supreme Court did not err. But the question is, the judgment of Omotosho, was it not potent enough that made the governor's camp go for an appeal? And what was the outcome of the appeal? The appeal also resonated all the prayers that Martin Samuel and his brothers took to the Federal High Court. Not even one. Not even one was removed. Rather, the governor got the tongue lashing of his life from the appeal court because of how he has handled the case turned out from the temple of Justice Joseph Omotosho. Then another question that is very pertinent that we ask ourselves: EFCC and the ICPC and generally the Nigerian public, or maybe those human rights agencies that always take politically exposed persons to court to come and account for whatever infraction and misappropriation of funds that have been done under their watch, even if they are retired or they remove them from that position, does it not apply that they come to answer for such questions? Is it an academic exercise? No. Is it an academic exercise? Then when you now say that a governor that was asked to go and present, that never presented the budget, because in the judgment of Omotosho and being upheld by the Supreme Court, by the appeal court, the governor never presented the budget.
All right, fine. I want us to look at this perspective at this point in time. Now, first of all, you know, one of the things Femi Falana said, apart from the fact that he said that, you know, continuing that particular lawsuit was
an academic,
he also said it has been overtaken by events.
It cannot.
And hold on, and he was speaking with respect to the 2024 appropriation bill. Now, Honorable Solomon Bob, when he was speaking, is making reference to other, you know, prayers or reliefs sought in the judgment of Justice Omotosho, which he granted. And part of it was, one, that particular judgment restrained the governor from, you know, governing or relating with any other faction
of the assembly.
Except Martin Samihule. And he instructed the governor to, you know, refer to Martin Samihule as the legitimate House of Assembly and to deal with them in accordance to the law. Now, even if we are talking about 2024 budget is one of the reliefs that were sought.
Yes.
There were other reliefs that were sought.
Embedded.
So now, withdrawing that matter from court to a large extent means that they have accepted the judgment of the Federal High Court and of the Appeal Court. That's the implication.
Yes.
So now they are basing their withdrawal on only one relief. But these other reliefs are binding and they still have life. Yes. Right? Because when the governor, and remember that judgment said, present the 2024 budget to Martin Samihule, and also said that Martin Samihule is the authentic speaker. Now, there is no court that has said otherwise.
There is none.
And the governor had gone ahead in his in course of governance to still present the 2025 budget to Okojombo. And, you know, they've been screening commissioners, you know, they've been screening appointees of the government and all that. The Okojombo has been legislating for Rivers State, as it were. So now the implication is what
As
I
in
am
legislating for the governor, point of correction.
whatever he's legislating for is being implemented in Rivers State.
Okay.
So he's legislating for Rivers State. Their legality is not what I am questioning right now, but we are looking at the implication of withdrawing that matter from court, one, and the fact that they have only relegated that dismissal of court judgment to only one relief, when there are other reliefs that were granted from the court, and it's also binding on the governor. Those reliefs still have life, and to the best of our knowledge, it was never vacated because they've withdrawn the suit from court.
You know, this is why I say that it is very laughable that a legal luminary and the student of the law, as in the person of Falana, will be coming to make some biased statement just because he is an interested party. Remember, even from before the governor contracted him, he has always tinted towards supporting the governor. It is not now that he is in the saddle of the driving seat of his legal counsel. You know, maybe he has an axe to grind with the FCT minister or what that made him lose his...
Everybody is entitled to their opinion. That's a fact.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that right from before this time, before he mounted the saddle of the legal counsel, to lead the legal counsel of the governor, he has been, making the statements that tinted towards the same biased statement that is made. So I'm not really taken aback, when I heard him. Then I also listened to the legal counsel of Martin Samehule and his brothers, and I heard what they said, which makes a lot of sense to me. Well, you remember that the governor's camp had already withdrawn a case before now that later came to haunt them. When they now went for an appeal, they were now trying to make a case in the appeal. Appeal court said that a case you have withdrawn that you did not allow to be heard, you have no locus to start appealing against it. So this particular one now, from the way it's going, if you say that you did not recognize Martin Samehule, but the Supreme Court have recognized Martin Samehule in telling you to pay some amount of money to Martin Samehule and the House of Assembly. So why is the name of Martin Samehule applying? Did Martin Samehule go to that place to sort that relief with his own name? It's with the name of the River State House of Assembly. This should make a lot of sense to them. You see, playing to the gallery and trying to put your mouth where your stomach is not going to help us in this matter. But the truth remains that all the reliefs that were sought, and if you say that this particular matter has died because you withdrew, you saw the handwritings clearly, and you now went ahead and withdrew it, trying to play smart when we all are products of the law and the Nigerian Constitution. The judgment of Omotosho took place during the lifetime of that particular purported passage of the budget. The lifetime of the purported budget was still running when appeal court gave their judgment. Those ones are judgment. They are not interlocutory orders or ex parte orders. They are judgments turned out from competent court of jurisdiction in Nigeria as regards the matter therein. So what has made it in withdrawal that he does not have potency to bite? I disagree with that, because I have tried to wrap my mind around it. I've tried to ask myself a lot of questions, tried to relate with some legal friends, and now I have my own opinion in this, that if a sitting governor will finish his tenure and will be called to account in the misappropriation of or whatever happened during his watch, and he will still go in for it, what makes it that a budget that a court of competent jurisdiction in the land has said that we are never presented? How do you think that the law or the Supreme Court is now the alpha and omega that will now jettison that there should be a vacuum in governance? That is creating a vacuum. in the governance of Rivers State under Seminary Fobara, because the laws have said that you did not present this budget. How can a state run without a budget?
Which brings us to another question now, because apparently the more we talk about this matter, it's looking more complicated.
Yes.
Because right now, nobody is even talking about 2025, because part of the contention in 2024 budget that gave rise to, you know, the concerns around the governor running the state without a budget, it's that it was presented to a four-man assembly. And now in 2025, the governor has presented the budget to a three-man assembly as against court judgment, right? Now, that's on one hand. Then on the other hand, the 2024 budget has been expended, and we are now in the lifespan of another budget. The Femi Falana is saying that, you know, it has been overtaken by time. Now, if it has been overtaken by time to a large extent, can the governor be held liable for that?
That is what I'm saying. In effect, that is what I'm saying. And remember, let me not forget this Igbo ontology that says when a dog is about to die, you know, the gods, you know, makes it cannot perceive the smell of the excreta. The governor, remember that on this show, I've always said that the governor of Rivers State, is tying himself with a rope that he will not be able to lose. Look at this issue. A budget that we are never presented, and I have given a clear example that brings this matter to the final conclusion, is that if a governor or somebody in a politically exposed position leaves office, is the person not being called upon when there are infractions in the services he has rendered or she has rendered to come and account for what happened under his or her watch? Then the governor are okay now, assuming without conceding, they are waiting for the four cases that are still remaining in the Supreme Court. Let us assume that this one had been settled, and the Supreme Court pronounces that Martin Samuel, because of their going by the pronunciation of what they said, that the governor should pay fine to Martin Samuel. That Martin Samuel now is the substantive Speaker of the House of Assembly. Will Martin Samuel not call Governor Seminary Fobara to come and account for what happened to Rivers money under his watch in 2024? That is where the meat of the matter lies. Even if Martin Samuel and his brothers never returns to the house, assuming without conceding that never return to the house, and an election is conducted, and the camp of Jason Wike has another majority in the house, will the house, or in the next 4 years or in the next 10 years, that somebody will mount the saddle of the speakership of Rivers State Assembly, do you think that that person will not call Seminary Fubara to come and account for what happened with the budget of 2024? Will you say that the person has no locus to call for it? That is what I'm telling you, that it has not been overtaken by any event. And I have already made this known right from the beginning of this issue, that it can never be overtaken by event, because in budget presentation in itself, when President Bola Tinubu told the governor in a friendly and family amicable resolution of this issue, is that go and represent the budget. What he said, that presentation of the budget is just a political and a democratic mere exercise. The documents that the governor is carrying to the assembly, are they physical money? That's just an explanation of what you should do. That's why you also have supplementary budgets. There is a sense to it that after the lifetime of the budget, the House of Assemblies committees calls other ministries and parastatals to come and remit the money remaining within their purview. It is an exercise. It is just a friendly exercise. So when they went to the court, and Falana and other people are calling it an academic exercise, it's laughable. Because even the presentation of the budget, if you go to the clips of this particular show that will be doing the open conversation and open air, you will see where I said it. That is a mere political exercise just for the fanfare. just for the legislature is the watchdog of their constituents, of what the governor is doing, and the governor, remember, is the governor that is bringing in what he intends to spend, and the assembly looks at it. Oh, this one is more. This particular sector, maybe health sector and the education sector, can we take from this one and put into this one to make it? This is where our people are feeling, we can do developmental strides. The assembly has the prerogative to jack whatever any governor or president has presented to them in order to call it the fiscal budget of that year. They also have the prerogative to reduce it. So it's just a mere political exercise. So when you go to the court, and the Supreme Court has given a validly resounding message. It's a message that the Supreme Court gave to Fobara and his camp. That say there is danger. There is danger. If they didn't award that penalty, I wouldn't have come here to be spending my energy in talking about this. I will say it is uhuru to the governor's camp. And they know it. The governor and his camp knows it, that they are just deceiving the people that are in their camp. Because the potency of this judgment lies in the fact that the Supreme Court mentioned Martin Samuel and asked that monies be paid to him. And monies be paid to the assembly. Who is that assembly? Remember that Martin Samuel was in Abuja last week attending the conference meeting of the speakers of Nigeria. Where was Okojumbo? They said Okojumbo. Where was he? You should have gone to Abuja.
We don't preempt our conversation.
No. I don't. I'm talking about the three courts of competent jurisdiction has pronounced Martin Samuel. I'm not in any way preempting any court. I'm not subjudice to any case that is lying there. Look at Omotosho named Martin Samuel as a substantive speaker, directing the governor to deal with him, to interface with him. Appeal Court did the same thing, and the Supreme Court had affirmed it. What else? Am I prejudiced to any court?
I said when you were talking about the speakership, the
that is why I said he went.
Hold on, Ifeanyi. When you were talking about the speakers forum, I said we will get to that story. So you do not run. You don't play
yes.
the card.
This is my analysis. So I bring in what makes my analysis to be very apt. What makes my analysis to be very apt? I bring it in. So this is it. So the camp of Martin Samuel and his brothers can go ahead and rejoice, because this is a time for merriment. They are not the people. Have they bribed the Supreme Court judges now? Has the camp of Nyesom Wike and Martin Samuel bribed the Supreme Court judges again? Right. So even if it's 1 naira, 1 kobo that is asked to be paid to a litigant, it is huge in a matter of whatever court case and whatever the outcome of a litigation amount to, and they know it, and that's where I rest my case. And I know that if not now, in the nearest future, a sitting speaker in Rivers State, take it to the bank, will call Governor Samuel Fobara to come and account how he played with and what he did with the Rivers money in a year called 2024. All right. That's where I rest my case.
Very well.